In a world where we're often too quick to judge on appearances, focus on ourselves, or find ourselves in a rush, this show is a reminder to slow down. Taste This Change is a project that goes beyond the meals and happy hours and connects with the thoughtful human creators behind each experience. Lo and I will sit down and try and uncover what it is that connects all of us to the story of a life. Each of us is distinctly unique, yet we are all very connected. This is Taste Exchange. Welcome to our show.
Sam Hart co-founded Counter in the fall of 2020, and in less than 6 months, it's already been a massive success. Sam hasn't always been a chef, though. With a background in advertising, he started cooking out of necessity early in his career. Years later, the concept of Counter was born as an antithesis to the traditional ways things have been done in the restaurant industry, and they've taken artistry to a whole new level. Enjoy this incredible conversation with Counter co-owner and executive chef, Sam Hart.
Kind of a weird, wild story that got me into food. I had no idea how to cook at all until I was 21, and I was living out in Utah because I followed a girl out to Utah. Terrible decision. And I was stuck out there, and I had zero money. I literally had nothing, and so I couldn't afford to go out and eat. I couldn't even afford to go even to McDonald's and Taco Bell. So what I did was I started cooking for myself, and that started off being buying box pasta and then buying canned sauce, and then all of a sudden I realized I could save more money if I made my own pasta, so I learned how to make my own pasta, and then I got hooked, and I just started cooking everything from scratch. And so that was when I was out there, and then I moved back here, and I get into advertising, which was my previous career, and all I wanted to do was like throw dinners and private parties for my friends and clients and things like that. And so I would invite them over and start cooking for them.
So advertiser by day.
Yeah, chef by night.
Chef by night.
Yeah, it was like the madman, super madman. It was great. I want to trademark that. But then all of a sudden, I am cooking in my house, well, my apartment. I was living near Uptown, and one of my favorite albums from when I was in high school starts playing, which is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. And I have this epiphany, I have this idea of what if a restaurant didn't just pair food with wine? What if they paired food with music, and they actually had the food interact with that music? And the next day, I go to my general sales manager, and I had that morning looked up culinary schools, realized that there's actually a culinary school here in Charlotte. But there's two. I went to Central Piedmont Community College, so much better. And just a little plug out for them. And I say, I've got to put my 2 weeks notice. I want to do this so bad. I got a job working as a dishwasher. So I went from making 6 figures to making $8.13 an hour. And
Hashtag worth it.
Yeah, hashtag worth it. But when you make a decision like that, a lot of things will fall off the tracks. And I didn't really realize how many things were going to happen when I made that decision. I was married at the time. A year later, that's not going to be around anymore. You disappoint a lot of people. And the biggest thing from every chapter that you go in life, the people who supported you in that first chapter are usually not the people that are going to support you in the second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, and so on and so forth. So,
or up to this point, let's say.
Exactly. So it requires a lot of self-motivation and belief in yourself, and always telling yourself that there's a reason why you have this idea. There's a reason why you have this vision of what's going to happen, and just constantly selling out to it every single day. Because there's a lot of people who didn't think that this restaurant made sense, didn't think that this idea was valid, and thankfully it didn't change the belief that my business partner and myself had in this concept. And so we just kept on running after it, and then finally we get to not sit back, but we get to kind of dive into this awesome sense of we were right, and we
appreciate,
get to have fun.
Maybe.
Appreciate the current moment, which is really refreshing compared to the previous 6 years of getting.
I've never heard of anything so complex, really. Like, there's just a lot of components coming together in this, and the intentionality is just like another level.
And that's why finding the right team was so important.
Yeah.
And also why I only feed 16 people maximum at a time, because you can't do something like this and feed 40, 50, 60 people. You can't do it. So, that's frankly why it costs what it costs to come in here, is because we have to be able to show you that much individual attention and build that relationship with you individually to make this thing work. But we wanted this place to showcase art of all forms, because in a restaurant, when you normally go to a restaurant, the only thing that you're expecting is, okay, I am going to be showcase the artwork of what's in front of me on this dish. But then when you really zoom out on a macro level, you can see that there's literally all of your senses going on at the exact same time. So, what can we do to enhance the art and showcase the art of the plate that the food is sitting on, the food that itself, even the wine, because making wine is an art form, showcasing that properly, the sound and the music that's being played around you, the art that's on the walls. We literally wanted to make sure that each individual element of art that is being surrounding you is being showcased, and then just ball that up into a story that we tell. So we say that we're not a chef-driven restaurant, we're not an ingredient-driven restaurant, we're not just a farm-to-table restaurant. We do all of those things, but the main focus is we are a story-driven restaurant. So there's a specific story that we are telling, and every element we very intentionally and purposefully make sure that it tells that story.
Yeah.
From the plate, from the artwork, from the music, from the food itself, everything coming together. And then that's why we wanted the restaurant itself to be more of a cold shell art gallery. Because if we had this grandiose, insane, stylistic restaurant that had all this other stuff going on, you would get distracted from the coolest things that are going on. Mm-hmm. So that's why we really set it up to be like this.
Yeah. What's funny though is that when you get away from the money as the goal and you focus on the craft and the creativity and the experience of it, the money will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah. So and
people will want.
Was not expecting the support that we've gotten so far at all. It was very slow, and then we hit December. All of a sudden, half of the dates are booked, and I'm like, man, we're sold out half of the days. And then all of a sudden, I look into January, and I did not realize what was going to happen after we got back from break. Mm-hmm. I would say 80% of our services have been completely sold out in January and February. February, There was only 3 days this entire month that weren't 100% sold out.
Wow.
And we're not even through February, but they're already sold out. We had over 100 people on the wait list for our Valentine's week. And so the support, we're just incredibly grateful for it up front. But now we're just like completely in shock of, okay, we're obviously doing something right. So let's not only continue to do what we're doing, but we have to polish and refine it. Because thinking that what you're doing right now is good enough, you always have to be progressive. You're either going to progress or you're going to regress.
Right,
so,
and it's not getting comfortable.
Never
in
getting
that.
comfortable.
Yes, totally.
That's why I throw them so many unique special menus and change things up on them all the time. Because at the end of the day, you're either growing or you're dying. And so
I'll brag on you a little bit because I can. But you guys have been sold out like 85% of the time. Like, I mean,
yeah,
this is incredible.
we were very slow the first month and a half because we didn't do any advertising. We didn't do anything because A, we didn't have the money. B, we thought, well, if the idea in the restaurants were that people are going to come out regardless, and
We have a special guest that just
one of
walked
my favorite things of all time.
Sid, come here. Yeah, no.
The best interruption ever.
This was a planned interruption.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yo, come here. I need to give you a hug.
How are you?
I'm so good to see you.
Hey friends, how you? So
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
That has to be included, please.
91 different dishes since COVID started. Like,
6 months ago.
that's insane. And I just think you guys are both like such cool examples of like how to continue to be innovative and in the flow and like,
Sydney actually kept on like verifying with me that, okay, so should I do this? Should I do that? Like, would this work? I'm like, do whatever you want. Bring whatever you want in here. I'm just telling you the theme's fire. Have fun. Like, I did not want to constrain the artist at all because I hate it when someone tries to constrain what I'm doing back there. So I just wanted to be completely free-spirited, just do what you want to do, like just live in what that theme means to you. And I mean, she killed it, like in the best way possible.
But what he creates, him and his team, it's so beautiful to see them through this. I love that it's glass window. They probably don't like being watched. You probably feel like a zoo animal, but it's so cool to be able to see them creating their food art. Yeah, they really are masterpieces. If you look at each dish, even the ones that are posted online, there's like so much love put into it and so many, like I would never think to put all the little I don't know, mix of all the things that create a dish. I'm like, wow, that sounds amazing, but I never would have gone to the store and be like, this goes well together. And it's so fun to see there's so much love and intention, even with the way that they, like cleaning the glasses, the wine glasses. I've seen 2 of his team members like holding it up to the light, like, you know, make sure that everything is spotless, everything flows seamlessly, and yeah, it's really fun because not that, or I don't see the behind the scenes of every restaurant, but just going to experience new places, the atmosphere and the experience with the people are most important to me. Like the food could taste like complete crap, but if there's love in it, it's okay. Right. But they're taking it beyond every level and taking everything, the taste, the experience, the presentation, the atmosphere, the music that they put with their videos. He even makes special playlists for each theme. So, sorry, I'm just gonna tell you that. People are coming to be with you and you're taking them on an adventure. So each time is an adventure, and I think it's really fun.
But I think what's really cool about both of you is just the love and intentionality you put into everything. And whether it's food or art or, you know, whatever you're doing, like you can just tell and feel it, whether you're right in front of the person or you're just seeing something they do.
Most people like will go and buy I don't know, I hate to say like Target art, or something like that. So to be able to support local art is really important, especially right now. Like everything's kind of closed down. Galleries are not the same as they used to be. Gatherings are not the same as they used to be. So to be able to put our pieces in different places that are going to reach people that we might not have normally been around, or I don't know, just allowing you to be creative and not have constraints around it is super important. So yeah, yay, thank you.
Buy local art, people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please, yes, please.
I cannot believe that you're here.
I'm gonna exit the scene now.
Heart hugs.
Yay, heart hugs, they're so important.
And I tell them this a lot, and I've been saying it since we did the pop-ups, is since the first day that I brought up this concept to someone, so this 4.5 years ago, I started talking to people about this idea officially, because I was really working hard at making it happen. When I tell you every single person except for my business partner thought that this is a bad idea and was talking us down and saying it was terrible. I mean, some of the people that I was working for, some of the people that I really looked up to, and just hard nose, saying that we were insane, saying that we were going to lose all of our money, saying that Charlotte is not ready for this, and Charlotte doesn't want this, and Charlotte would never pay for something like this, and blah blah blah, and just hearing the negativity over and over and over and over again. I'm a practicing Buddhist, and my monk is a Scottish guy. So the last thing you would ever imagine is this like 80-something-year-old Scottish man with a very Sean Connery accent.
Can you do the accent?
No, I can't. But he says, I wish I could. It's like the one accent I can't do. And I can't do him specifically justice because he's one of the funniest people of all time. But one day he said, the goal in life is to have the best possible problems, because you're always going to have problems, but make sure that they are the best and most fun problems to have. I don't have the problem of, is my team going to show up to work on time? Are they going to put salt in whatever?
In the sugar, whatever.
Are they going to cut this correctly? Or are they going to completely forget about an entire item on a dish, which is normally how restaurants operate. The chef is always looking at the sauté cook and being like, is that actually done? Did you cook that correctly? My problem is this slightly too acidic versus this part on the dish? Or is the color of this actually the color that we want it to be? Or did you bring this dish out 30 seconds before the song was supposed to start? Or did you bring it out a little bit later? So these little fine tweak problems are such cool problems to have. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm glad that I got humbled a lot earlier in my career because I thought I was the coolest thing in the world when I first started cooking.
I think we all did. Like in our 20s,
oh
we're
my
like,
gosh.
I'm the coolest. And then you're like, oh.
And I got smacked down and humbled in Chicago. I mean, just so hard. I mean, I literally they just buried me under Lake Michigan until I couldn't breathe anymore. And then I came back up and I was humbled. And I'm so glad I had that moment because I could understand how powerful and important gratitude is. Because they work so hard to make my dream happen. And my goal is to eventually, how can I train you? I know what all of them want to do 4 years from now. And my goal is for them not to be a sous chef in my restaurant 3 years from now. My goal for them is whatever they want to accomplish. Right. And I want to individually know every single one of their goals, whether it's cooking or whether it's not cooking, whatever it may be. And to have someone know that I care about what they want to do and know that they care about what I want to do at the same time, it makes it to where this restaurant can happen.
And I need everyone to just take that in, because that's how every manager-employee relationship should be, owner-employee relationship. Every type of situation, even like a romantic relationship, like what do you want? Like how can I help you get this, whatever it is for you, not for me, for you. And I think that's just amazing that you're in that space and that you're so supportive of them, because I think it's growing as a trend, but it's still like this compared to how most of society exists.
I say it every single night when I bring all of the staff out for everyone to meet them, that I firmly believe that the most talented chef in this entire region, not just the building, not just the city, but the whole region, is Eileen Hesse, our chef de cuisine. And she, partners with me in creating all of our menus, and I give her a theme and I give her an idea. On our very first menu, I said corn. Like, that's it. I just said corn, and make a dish off of corn. And I think the most delicious dish of that first menu was her crayfish raviolo that had corn in 3 different ways, and it was gorgeous. And so having someone who is at that creative and intelligence capacity that you can literally just say one word or give them a song off of an album and all of a sudden they produce a perfect dish based off of that. It takes a lot of worry and a lot of nervousness and anxiety away from you, having someone like that. And then, Jordan, Dylan, Ian, the 3 of them being able to execute to the degree that they do when we give them all this random crazy stuff. Like Jordan, he makes all of our hot food, like does all of our protein work, things like that. I've given him 5 different kinds of fish. I've given him every single cut of animal you can imagine. And he's just somehow nails it every single time.
I don't even, anything you can imagine.
Seriously.
Anything.
Octopus, veal shank, we've done.
What's the weirdest one?
The weirdest one that I've ever given him was pig brain. And I know that sounds weird, but it's one of my favorite things ever. And it was during a pop-up, and I said, "All right, we're gonna do some tempura fried curried pig brain." And he just looked at me and he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And here's your oil.
Had you had it before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, it's one of
it's
one
totally
of my,
normal.
That was so delicious. And all of a sudden he's just like, "All right, cool." And then he just whips it together. I'm like, perfect. This is the kind of person that I need. And they see a challenge, they don't bat an eye, they just go after it. And so he's done that with everything. And so to have a team like that, it's the only way that a vision like this can happen, because there are so many moving pieces. I mean, I give him a sheet, it's called our service guide, and it's got all 100 and however many elements on the menu. It's got all the music, it's got even all the flatware, glassware, the wine that we're going to use, literally everything on this sheet of paper. And I look at it and I say to myself, well, I can only do 7 of those because I've got to stay out here during service and talk with people.
Right.
So I can only execute 7 of these things during service. Here you go, have fun, try and figure this one out, and I'll help you along the way. But
I'm sure you're more than like, have fun.
no, I like showing what to do, but like when it's game time.
Right. You have to be, and also you have to be able to relinquish that control, right? And I see this a lot in the business settings where leaders, I don't know if they deserve that title, maybe managers can't, give control or empower their people. And I think that, you do that so beautifully and you trust your people.
It's because they're caught in a false paradigm where a lot of chefs, and I say that term loosely, they think that they need to be the Michael Jordan, they need to be the Kobe Bryant, And the truth is, the chef needs to be the Phil Jackson or the Greg Popovich. And you need to be able to build up your team and realize that you have a Michael Jordan or you have a Lisa Leslie, whatever it may be, that you need to coach them in the right way and set them up in a system to succeed.
Right.
And if you don't, you can't just sub yourself in and win it for them.
Right.
You know, you gotta create the environment that A, they want to succeed, B, they know how to, and C, they've got the tools to do it.
Yes.
And so that's kind of where it all comes in, because I know more than anyone how ridiculous of a job I'm giving them to do. I'm telling cooks not only to make delicious food that is well above the eyebrows of what has currently been going on in Charlotte and refining it to a crazy degree, but then I'm telling them, all right, now you've got to do it to music. And you've got to choreograph this, and you've got to do it tableside. Every single dish we have here has a tableside element. Oh, and you have to interact with people. It's insane.
Right.
And so I know I ask a lot out of them, and they meet it every single time. And so it makes it easy when, you know, I love the fact that these guys get paid more than anyone that's working their positions, and you know, we're throwing them extra money all the time because we like to share the wealth.
Right.
I don't really care about making a lot of money. That's why I'm only feeding 30 people a night. But also they all get 4 weeks paid vacation.
That's incredible.
Which that doesn't exist in this industry.
No.
We were going to fly to Japan together, then you know that is not going to happen. So now we're trying to figure out where we're going to take the team.
It will eventually.
Yeah, one day. But now we're like, all right, where are we going to take the team on this vacation? And you know, they still don't think that this is going to happen. But I'm like, no, I want to get out of Charlotte. So
Right.
let's go out and have fun. And especially in restaurant culture, where it was the exact opposite. There's a reason why restaurants have the highest turnover rate of any industry in the world. You know, when I was I worked at a 3 Michelin star restaurant in Chicago, and that's like the ultimate thing. I was only there for 4 months, but I had 30 people leave that restaurant while I was there. Yeah, and the turnover was outrageous. I'm talking multiple hundreds % in turnover rate. And so that's where you really need to take a step back and reassess the entire industry. Do you want to be a part of that industry? Do you want to represent that? Do you want to continue to go on? That's the whole reason why the name of this restaurant's Counter. That has nothing to do with the fact that you sit at a counter. The reason why that dash is there is the most important part of the name. That dash stands for everything that we're counter to. We are countercultural, we're we're countercultural, we're counterintuitive, we're trying to be the counterbalance, because we want to show how drastically incorrect this industry has become. And we wanted to showcase that we can be the complete total opposite and showcase that works. Right. Almost every single thing that we do here is the total antithesis of what it normally is.
Standard operating procedures, yeah.
So I really, really hope, and there's a lot of chefs here in Charlotte that are showing this too, you know, such as Greg Collier at Lee and Louise, such as Rob Clement, who is starting up his own company right now called Meshuggah, Daniel Wheeler, Chris Coleman, you know, all these guys who know that and know that this industry has been so wrong for so long. And how can we make it right?
Yeah.
And how can we make people want to work in this industry?
Yeah.
And not burn them out.
Set an
and
example.
Do something cool and have fun. Like that. I mean, at the end of the day, we just have fun.
Yeah. Can have fun and do all these cool things and support each other, and yes, still be financially successful.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Yep. Spoiler alert, you can pay your staff more than minimum wage and make money. You can pay them double minimum wage and still make money.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hate to let some restaurateurs know this, but you can actually pay and treat your employees right and still be successful. Had a lot of really not great things happen to me over the past 6 years. And we can go back 10 years too. But the thing that I would tell myself is really two things. never stop believing in the vision that you were given, because you're given that vision for a reason. And to degrade it with the comments of others will tarnish it. And so you always have to have constant faith in that vision, in that idea that you have, no matter how crazy people say that it is. And then the other very big thing is, when you need help, ask for help. So I did not know that not sleeping for 5 straight days was a problem. I didn't know that certain things I was telling myself and certain ways I would react to things were an issue until I finally got help for my mental health. And knowing that your brain is a muscle just like any other muscle, and working it out just like going to the gym and working out any other muscle in your body is important. It is vital, even more vital, to constantly work on your mind and constantly work on improving and structuring your mind and having it be in a positive place. So if I could go back and tell myself, like talk to myself 10 years ago, I would tell myself, believe in yourself and meditate. I finally got into meditation 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. Greatest decision I've ever made in my entire life. And it's amazing how quick things can just start happening once you start exercising and working on your mind. So that would be the 2 things I would tell myself: faith in yourself and mindfulness, and meditating, and take care of your mental health.
Yeah.
Those would be definitely the 2 things.
Yeah, mental health is what people
Yes.
don't understand. And it's hilarious you explained it this way, because I have a metaphor that's like, if you break your arm, you're gonna go to the hospital and get it taken care of. But how many people like take care of their mental and emotional wounds? It's harder because you can't see them, but they are just as important, and you need to take care of mental, emotional, physical health every single day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite thing is people say, oh, I can't meditate, I can't sit down for like 30 minutes and do it. I was like, yeah, but you can sit down for 30 seconds. Like, not everyone's gonna be able to bench press 300 pounds the first time that they go to the gym, but you can at least, get on your knees and do like the half push-up thing,
Yeah.
and then build up from there.
Yeah.
So, I was a terrible meditator when I first started. I think I could maybe go 10 seconds without, getting distracted. But, mental health, as you said, is health. I love that because that's the lens that you see the world through.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. I like that. I'm stealing that one from you.
Yeah.
A couple things that I personally am very passionate about, and the goal is to not completely push on your personal passions and your personal aspirations onto your entire team and onto your business. But a couple things that we really, really want to do here, we're very adamant about it here at Counter, is changing the dynamic of what the current situation is in the restaurant industry, but also our city in general. So one of our biggest aspirations is to get as much local artists in here as possible. Another one is diversifying who is running, who is operating, and who is chefing at these restaurants throughout Charlotte, and really, nationwide. Right now, there's only 2 chefs that I'm aware of who are not old white straight guys that run or operate restaurants here in Charlotte. I'm personally LGBT. The chef de cuisine here, she is the most powerful, not just most powerful woman, most powerful person I have seen at a restaurant. And so, the goal is to showcase that just because you are different looking than the person that you've worked for, or the person who taught you how to cook, or who is teaching you in culinary school, or whatever it may be, that doesn't mean you're invalid. And the ultimate showcase of that is the most recognition nationwide we've ever had for a restaurant here in Charlotte is Greg Collier's Lee and Louise. And you look at his entire team, and I've worked with someone on his team before who was, I will never forget the first day that she worked at a restaurant with me. The sous chef immediately thought that she was incredibly inferior because she was a young black woman coming into this restaurant filled with a bunch of crazy white dudes. And he showed her how to cook something, and then she just turned around and made it 10 times better than him, like immediately. And what he has over there is just the biggest, for lack of a better term, middle finger to everyone who pushed him down and said that he wasn't valid. And now he's taken that to build other people. So I want to do that here. My restaurant is only so big, so eventually, when we can catch up to everything that's happening here, I want to get back into teaching how, teaching kids how to cook and things like that, which I used to do in Chicago, and reach out to schools, reach out to certain shelters and things like that, and pass that knowledge on, and not just keep it within these four walls here.
Right.
So diversification, teaching the next generation, and then supporting local artists. That's our three really big things that we're trying to do here.
That's cool. Thanks so much.
Y'all are awesome.
You're awesome.
This is a lot of fun. I need to make you guys some food.
Okay.
So this is our Bloody Mary oyster. So you've got a hot pepper juice, a tomato gelée circle, pickled celery, and then celery leaves on top of a French kiss oyster. And then we have an aroma made with lime oil and white tea and jasmine tea to actually cleanse your sense of smell, as well as this cleansing your sense of taste when you first start your meal.
I really like this. We had one person who really did not like this week.
Oh my gosh, that was so good.
This is a cream puff filled with first-class Alba white truffles and foie gras pastry cream with powdered sugar on top, and then first-class Perigord black truffle grated on top.
The world's most expensive donut.
So good. Guaranteed. There's like a lot of stuff on my list, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's everywhere.
This is the truth right here. Like seriously, the truth.
We had a
couple
buy this for Valentine's.